here with MPTV, and we're joined by our lovely panel. This is our second panel, and we're going to discuss the upcoming fights and go over the events that Mayweather Promotions has in store and the mark that we're about to leave in the first half of 2018. So before I begin, I'm going to introduce my lovely panel. We have the undisputed, undefeated Andrew Tabiti. I have to give you a full intro because last time I didn't give you your credit. So undefeated, you're well on your way. You're a top contender. Of course, we have Badou Jack, two-time world champion. Leonard Ellerby, CEO of Mayweather Promotions. Ryan Burton, writer, boxing scene. J. Leon Love, contender in the super middleweight division. And Sean Porter, former world champion in the welterweight division. So we're just going to jump right into it. Last month, we had our first event of the year. It was the Sin City Showdown card at Sam's Town Live. So we've been doing these cards pretty consistently. It's our version of just putting together local cards filled with rising prospects, a lot of great talent. The last card on January 27th didn't disappoint. It was headlined by Sharif Boguer, and Cameron Crowe was in the co-main event. So I know Andrew, Badou, Leonard, and Ryan, you guys all joined us. So I just kind of want to get your perspective on what you guys thought of the card and how you guys just speak about the cards in general.
Well, obviously, we love doing our shows there at Sam's Town. It's a great opportunity for some of our younger fighters to have a platform to be able to, perform in front of these great fans here in Las Vegas. We had an outstanding main event with Sharif Boguer, and the co-main was really a very entertaining fight with Cameron Crowe. He always comes to fight and never disappoints the fans. And from top to bottom, the card was great. I thought everyone performed very well, and I was very pleased, and the fans were very pleased.
Everybody was pleased, and all of our fighters won on the Mayweather Promotions side. So that's definitely a great, start to the year for us. What did you think, Andrew? Which fights were you able to catch?
I like the Cameron Crowe fight. I was off my seat. I was real happy, seeing his performance. Man, the fight was beautiful, and both guys they show heart. So yeah, that fight really caught my eye.
Badou?
Yeah, I think the co-main Cameron Crowe, that was probably the best fight. Even though his record might not be that good, he's always in there, putting up good fights, and he could fight. He fought a lot of tough guys. I think he didn't have a good manager in the beginning of his career. Maybe that's why he got a lot of losses. But he could fight. He can fight.
And obviously one of the main reasons why I signed him is because for that reason, he's been one of those guys, and I'm sure Sean and Jay and all you guys remember Emmanuel Burton. He kind of reminds me a lot of him with the record, and that's why you have to throw all that out the window when it comes to record. I mean, he's a very tough guy. He had got the wrong end of the stick with taking fights on short notice, fighting undefeated guys in the backyards, and he's got robbed on several occasions. So I'm glad that he's stepping up, and he's going to get an opportunity. I'm going to make sure he's going to get a real opportunity.
He's been pretty explosive on every card that we put him on, so it's definitely a good look since he's been signed to Mayweather Promotions. Now, you've gone to a few of our Sam's Town cards, and what do you think about the transformation of Crowe since he's been with us?
Yeah, I've seen him in cards even before he signed with you guys. I've been watching him for a long time, and yeah, he's never been in a boring fight. That's one thing you can say. And the guy, I can't think of his name off the top of my head, the Japanese guy he fought, my God, that guy, he would take a beating, then he'd come back too. So that fight was going back and forth so much, I think like what Andrew was saying, jumping out of his seat. Because right when you thought like one guy couldn't take it anymore, like he got that second win and he's coming back at him. But yeah, no, he's gotten better. And like Leonard said, when you have 2 months to prepare for a fight versus 2 weeks, it's a world of difference. And then sometimes taking a fight a weight class or two higher than what you're supposed to be fighting just because you never know when that opportunity is going to come. So I think he's definitely got a good future ahead of him.
I'm pretty excited about what's in store for boxing, which brings me into the next fight, which is Garcia versus Rios, which is going to take place February 17th at Mandalay Bay here in Las Vegas. On the headline is Garcia versus Rios, but the highly anticipated fight is David Benavidez versus Ronald Gavril. We all know that Benavidez became boxing's youngest world champion, and now they're going for a rematch. So let's just talk about that fight just for a little bit, not to get too wound up and everything, but Jay, what do you think about this rematch?
It's a good one. The first fight was spectacular. I mean, action-packed from start to finish. Right here, I'm excited because they are both going for the knockout. They are not playing. They have it, but they already said it. Listen, this is not going the distance. I'm looking forward to it. You got Benavidez, young, like you said, the youngest champion right now, has been active and putting on great performances. Ronald Graville came out of nowhere. You know, a lot of we knew about him. You know, I've been knowing about him since the amateurs, but I mean, look at him. He came in. He had his opportunity, and he made the most out of it. Really close fight. People can argue Benavidez. We can argue Graville. So it's only right that they do it again, and I believe that it could possibly steal the show.
Now,
Definitely steal the show.
Now, what would you say are the keys to success for Graville going into this rematch?
Winning the rounds convincingly. You know, a lot of rounds was close. You know what I mean? It's kind of hard. I mean, Benavidez is very active. You know, always in your chest, always throwing punches from different angles. But you know, Ronald has to steal these rounds convincingly and take it to him. I would say, take it to him. Hey, you know what he has. You know what he has to deliver this time. You know what he has to offer. Go for it. You know, this is it. You know, bite down and take it away from him. That's what it is. I mean, that's pretty much skill is kind of out the window. You know, it's whoever wants it more. That's what it is.
Now, Benavidez, he's a stablemate of yours. What would you say for him going into the fight would be key to success?
Do what he's been doing. I'm a fan of both guys. I'm a fan of David Benavidez for being as young and as vibrant and as active as he has been, both in and out of the ring. He takes on any and every challenger that they put in front of him. And as you can see, he comes out on top, you know. And then again, you got Ronald Graville, who in a lot of eyes came out of nowhere, was given an opportunity, pretty much just to put a win on the column of David Benavidez, and he came in and tried to show everybody wrong. And I think he did that, you know. I think he did that. He showed that he's a great fighter, that he's worthy of holding the belt. And we'll see who gets it this next time. I think it's going to be another great fight. It's hard to say who's going to win. Both guys are going for the knockout. It's hard to say who's going to win.
They're both on record saying this fight is going to end in a knockout.
I believe it. But both guys got a great chin as well, you know, and both guys can box. I think if either of them get into trouble, they know how to survive. This is going to be a great fight, and I do agree that it's going to steal the show.
So the TV opener for 217 is Yordenis Ugas versus Ray Robinson, and this is for the IBF welterweight elimination bout. So that's also going to be a really great matchup. Ugas was on the Mayweather versus McGregor card. He put on a great performance, and he's been on a roll, but he's also up against a very tough opponent in Ray Robinson. What do you think about this matchup?
Another outstanding matchup. You have two young fighters that are very hungry. It's a great matchup. Great matchup.
And what do you think, Andrew?
I don't know Ray Robinson, but you guys, he's a real good fighter. He always come with it, and you know, he gives his best. He had an upset against one of our stable mates, and you know what I'm saying? Pretty cool.
I don't think you know this, Crystal, but I fought Ray Robinson.
Really?
Back in, I think, 2011, maybe.
Mm-hmm. Yep, sure.
I think that was the year. He's great. He's a really good fighter. He's skillful.
Tall
and long. And I think that will be the difference maker in this fight. I think Ugas he's skillful, he's powerful, very poised in the ring, very calm, and picks his punches very well. Ray Robinson is active. Ray Robinson is fast and he's long. Active, fast, long fighter. It's hard to hit those kind of guys, you know. So Ugas, even though he's got some long arms, he likes to throw power. So his punches won't be as fast. They will be as sharp, and it's just a matter of time before he catches up to Ray Robinson. I think if he doesn't catch up to Ray Robinson, he could lose on points, but could very well catch Ray Robinson in the later half of the fight and knock him out. I floored Ray Robinson. I think we went 10 rounds. I floored him in maybe the 8th round. You know, so I'm shorter, not as long as Ugas. So I give Ugas the edge in this fight.
And what are your predictions?
That fight, that's a good fight because both guys, like you said, Ugas is on a roll. He's beat like 4 guys in a row where probably at least 3 of them he was the underdog. Jamel James was undefeated, took his O. Perella was undefeated, took his O. But I think Robinson's won like 13 fights in a row too. So it's one of those fights where it's like both guys are going like this, but someone's got to go down. Mm-hmm. But I probably would give a little bit of the edge to Ugas just because his wins have came against a little bit better competition in my opinion. But it's pretty close to 50-50.
That's going to be one to watch also. Like I said, it is the TV opener. Before we get into the main event, I just want to touch on the undercard matchups. We have Lionel Thompson, who will face Edwin Rodriguez in a light heavyweight battle for 10 rounds. Are also very unique. You have Miller, who is on the incline, who's a tough warrior, and he's now facing another tough opponent. It seems like he just kind of keeps passing every test. So I know you have a lot of positive things to say, but what is really going to be the key to success for Miller in this fight?
Very happy and very proud of Memphis. He stepped up. It was a very tough fight that he had in his last fight with Jamel Herring, and he showed, Jamel Herring, former Olympian. Ladarius showed what he's made of, and he asked me, could he have another step-up fight? So he's definitely climbing the ladder. He's got the right fights in with the right guys, and the sky's the limit. I expect a great fight from him, and I expect him to come out on top.
And Andrew, I know you have you've kind of followed Ladarius as well throughout his career.
Yeah, I'm real good friends with Ladarius. I like his attitude when it comes to boxing. He wants to win. He doesn't care who's in front of him. He just wants to win, and he's going to fight hard. And I see his growth in his last few years, and he's doing good. He's doing good now. He's on the right track. And yeah, sky's the limit for him. As long as he got good people behind him, DeJuan Blake, Leonard Ellerby, and you dealing with guys like that, the sky's the limit. They're gonna put you in a position to make things happen for yourself, and that's what he's doing.
I think that could be the difference maker for him right now is his attitude. Right. He like Leonard said, he asked for another tough fight. He asked to step up. It proves that he's not playing in this sport. This is a sport where you can't play. Yeah, this is a sport where you can't play. So, and for him to have that attitude and that mindset this early in the game, or for him right now in the game, is a great attitude to have, and he needs to carry that momentum. He does. He carries that momentum with him into the ring, and that's how he's been getting the job done. In my opinion, he's skillful. But at some point, there's got to be something else that takes you over the edge. And right now, it seems to be his attitude is that momentum kicker that's just pushing him along.
That's a great point, Sean. Yeah. Great point.
So now we're going to head into the main event, which is Danny Garcia versus Brandon Rios. Now that's also a tough matchup, and a lot of people are looking forward to this. Sean, I specifically wanted to get your perspective since this is an elimination bout.
Yeah, tough fight for both fighters. I think Brandon Rios, we've seen him in some wars, some of the hardest fought fights in years, and we've seen him come out on top.
And Che, what do you think about this matchup?
It's really good, man. I think Danny Garcia, he has a lot of talent, a lot of skill, but Brandon Rios is rugged. Just, he's a dog. He's going to come and give it his all, his grit. And so I like both fighters. I think it's a good fight. I'm looking just to see who the winner, who will be the winner. Brandon Rios, like we said, he doesn't care who he's in there with. He's going to give his A game. And Danny Garcia, we see him perform time and time again. He only has one blemish on the record. And I'm waiting to see what's up, Sean. I'm ready to see.
I'm definitely get me started because here's the thing. Here's the thing. Danny Garcia has a lot to prove to me. I'm sure he has a lot to prove to boxing, but he has to the casual boxing fan, big boxing fans. He's got a lot to prove to me. You see him in the ring with Keith Thurman, and he's having trouble getting to Keith. Keith is moving, using the entire ring, and he can't catch up to Keith. For the most part, I would say about 12 rounds, and at least 10 of those rounds. At this point in the game, you got to be able to fight somebody that's moving, somebody's coming to you. You take a look at Lamont Peterson. He fought, I think, a fight or two before he fought Keith Thurman, and Lamont, for the first part of the fight, he moved, and he had trouble with the move, and then Lamont made an adjustment. Lamont Peterson started to push forward and be aggressive, and we saw Danny Garcia have problems with that. Right. So now you got a guy with Brandon Rios, even though he's not giving you any different kind of looks, he's coming right at you. I want to know if you can handle this pressure, if you can handle this pressure for 12 rounds, if you can handle this guy talking at you, gnawing at you, being really rugged and strong and ugly with you. How are you going to handle this? After I see you handle Brandon Rios, how you handle Brandon Rios, that's going to determine whether or not I'm fighting you or Brandon Rios.
There you go.
Badou?
Is it you're the
number one though, right?
I'm the number one.
If I
So
was number two
the
spot.
way this works is when Keith Thurman comes back, if he's fighting me, he'll fight me. The winner of myself and Keith Thurman, aka, is gonna fight the winner of Danny Garcia and Brandon Rios.
Sean, I want to see you. I like the first fight, bro.
You like the first fight?
I like the first
I like
fight.
both fights.
I mean, I do. I want to
like
see you
both
go ahead
fights.
and do that again, man.
That's a good fight. Brandon Rios is a nice guy. He's a funny guy. He's always come to fight. Danny Garcia is a little more skilled, but you never know. Anything can happen in boxing. But it's still a good fight.
Well, they're all great fights, all of the fights that are on this card. And again, those fights will be February 17th at Mandalay Bay, so you won't want to miss. And of course, it will be on Showtime. Now, I wanted to go to you because next we're going to transition to another fight that was announced, and that is you versus Adonis Stevenson. So how do you feel going into this? This is your second fight since moving up.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you're ready? Do you feel like what's going on in your mind?
I was born ready. I asked for this fight, right after I fought Miguel over a year ago. So I'm the one pushing for this fight. Even we was talking about it before the Miguel, after we fought Abute, right?
Yeah.
I've been wanting to fight him, and finally, he's stepping up. He hasn't fought nobody on my level in a long time. Shad Dawson was probably his biggest win.
People do say that that you are probably his toughest test since he's been champion. He's defended his title 8 times, and 6 of them have been by KO. So now you're next. Why was it important for you, Leonard, to position Badou and kind of be patient with the fights before he went straight to Adonis?
This is the fight that he's been asking for quite some time, and like he said, even before the Miguel fight, when he was at 68, he came and said that, he didn't want to make 68 anymore. He's been fighting at 68 for a number of years, and his body just, had outgrown the weight, and he wanted to step up. And he didn't want no fights in between. Didn't want a tune-up per se. He wanted to go straight for the top guy, and that's one thing. We always, when I say we, myself and Floyd, we always had this discussion about his attitude. We love his attitude. Since he always wants to fight the best. And that's what true champions are made of. And that's why we're very proud to be his promoter, because he always comes to fight and he wants to fight the best. And that's what the fans want to see, the best fighting the best. And I think May 19th is going to be a terrific matchup. Obviously, Adonis he's a tremendous fighter. He has an outstanding record. He's a tremendous puncher. And Badou will be more than prepared, and I have no less than every expectation for him to come in there and take that WBC strap and bring it back to Las Vegas.
So another fight that was announced is Gervonta Davis will be fighting in April on the Adrian Broner versus Omar Figueroa undercard. Now, we don't have any details on an opponent, but Gervonta is back, and he will be back in the ring. What do you have to say about Gervonta, just kind of like how he's been transitioning, and what do you think about him?
It's, again, he's going on April the 21st. I'm excited to see him back in the ring. His last fight, there were some issues. But as a young fighter, you learn from those mistakes early on, and I think that he did. All the conversations that I've had with him have all been positive. He's excited for the opportunity to get back in there and showcase his skills and, do his thing.
All right, guys, so I really enjoyed you guys, your input, just being around a bunch of professionals who really just have something positive to say and really just have a great outlook and just have the insight of world champions and former world champions and, someone from the media. We have a lot of great fights coming up. Like we already mentioned, February 17th is Garcia versus Brandon Rios at Mandalay Bay. We have Badou Jack who will be fighting Adonis Stevenson. We have Gervonta Davis who will be on Adrian Broner's undercard. So you can follow Mayweather Promotions on social media, on Twitter at Mayweather Promo, on Instagram at Mayweather Promotions for all of the fight details, news, and more information. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.